applied to neurology, went unmatched, didn't get any interviews. That was when I reached out to Mr.
Like
Pawar.
all of my interviews, I had the questions on my work experience. They were asking like, okay, what exactly do you do? How exactly is your day-to-day life? What
Yes, sir. I got some clinical questions in two interviews, especially the one from California. So,
I got good interviews. I can say, like, I got 8 interviews, two internal medicine and six family medicine.
Graduate. My year of graduation is 1996. Yeah. In 2024, I moved to the US with a green card.
I did 2 years of US clinical experience in Chicago.
But that was unfortunately unsuccessful, mainly because of lack of US clinical experience and research.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the team Sarthi, and today we have our special annual webinar. And I wanted to thank each one of you for joining us today from different parts of the world. I'm assuming from all over. And especially those of you who are going into the match this coming year, in September of 2026. So today we will have the Sarthi students who have matched in 26. So last week, the match results came out. And these are the students who were once in your shoes, wondering how to start, how to prepare. A lot of them have challenges, and so how to overcome them, these challenges, how to move forward. And the purpose of today's webinar is very simple. We want you to hear these real stories from real students. So not just the highlights, but the challenges and the struggles and what mistakes they made, how they overcome those mistakes, how they would have done it differently, and how Sarthi helped them. So many of you will have questions on, my match timeline. How do I build my profile? How do I get US clinical experience? How to approach research, application, and interviews. So with all of this, we have a series of speakers who've matched this year, and they will be the featured ones today. And of course, if you need any support in your journey, for example, for match, for electors, for research, my team is there, and they'll continue to post the links so that you can review those links. We do have some very special match week discounts. If you're interested in the match plans, and Aarti will probably post those links as well. So take a look at those links as many of our speakers are joining. There will be a chat option, so you can absolutely go into the chat and ask questions. And then, I will relay these questions to the our speakers, and then, if there is time at the end, then I will also take questions as well. So I think we have two speakers as of now. So the first one is Gaurav Sudhir. So what I'll request each one of the speakers is to come and introduce yourselves, and then, talk a bit about your journey, your challenges, and how you overcame, and tips for the students, and how Sarthi helped you. So Gaurav, are you there?
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How
I'm
are you,
here.
Gaurav?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So why don't we just get started? Tell us a bit about yourself, your challenges, how you overcame those, how you leverage Sarthi resources, and any tips for the students. And of course, tell them where you are going, which specialty, and all of that.
Right, sir. First of all, I'll begin with thanking you. First and foremost, I reached out to you when I was not in a great place, when I had gone unmatched for one in my first cycle. This is my second cycle. Let me tell everyone, my name is Gaurav Sudhir. I passed out. I'm a very old graduate, by the way, 15 plus years old graduate. I passed out from KMC Mangalore. I'd applied last year and applied to neurology, went unmatched, didn't get any interviews. That was when I reached out to Mr. Pawan, and he told me what my chances are considering me being such an old graduate, and no matter, if I hadn't been if I hadn't done post graduation in India, or if I didn't have a green card, or better chances to entice programs to send me invites. So we discussed it over, and we changed the strategy, tried to target more family medicine, but I didn't really heed to his advice fully. I changed my stream to internal medicine because of my background working in hospitals, tertiary care hospitals in Delhi for most of my career. So that was the route I took. I reached out, and over all these months, Sarthi had been a really good point of resource. Whenever I wanted, whenever I needed, the Telegram group was really helpful, and of course the videos, the session series, they were helpful. Starting with program outreach, Sarthi provided the scaffold to build your profile onto, starting from how to approach programs, which programs to target, how to research, and thereafter, once you target programs, how to communicate, how to network, and that was how I strategized this year. And another good step that I taken last year was from the last match cycle was I started my research. So I joined a research program that was not with Sarthi, but another research program that was 100-hour research program that took the basics of research, and that was when I learned it was a daunting task in the beginning, but with consistent effort, I was able to learn how to apply research, clinical research, because that is something which is really valuable, and that's what you can actually talk about in your interviews. You can mix whatever qualities you want to express, who you want to showcase, and research involves a lot of things which you can showcase, starting from consistency, idea generation, to leadership, to team player. So all of those things, and of course the interview series that you, sir, had actually given us the guidance videos and the interview preparation series. They were really, really helpful, and that helped me. That was a sticking point in my last year's journey, and that helped me be more confident in front of the screen and be able to express really well and structure my answers. And that was when I was able to weave my story and lead the interviews, so to speak, rather than being reactive. So yes, so I matched in internal medicine, 15-plus-year-old graduate, visa requiring, by the way, and I matched in internal medicine. It's a newer program. I think this is their second batch in Mississippi.
So, this is actually a great achievement, because a lot of people and everyone was apprehensive this year, visa seeking applicants, and especially older YOG in internal medicine. So how did you, in the interviews, how did you convince the program that while you are an older YOG, you're actually a fit and you're ready and clinically current?
Yes, clinically current. So beginning with the programs, they have stereotypes, and they are really apprehensive about hiring older graduates. First is the seniority issue. I was directly asked in one of the interviews, program director or program faculty, they may be even younger than you, and your seniors, they would be really younger than you. So how would you, deal with this issue? So that showcases what the mindset of program faculty and the program directors are. So in your interviews, Sarthi really helped the candidates to structure their answers in such a way so as to showcase yourself that you are actually coachable, that you are really a good team player. You can gel in the team, you are learnable, and that's how you make your story and give examples and showcase your personality over there. So these are the main points, and you have to alleviate their fears. Basically, you have to be proactive that way.
And one tip that you may have for aspirants in the next season, if that would be one big tip, what would it be?
Well, obviously, coming back from a failure in the first match, I would say stay consistent, trust the process, and do not lose hope. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. It may not be this season, but you have to build your CV. You don't have to give up on years and years of hard work and consistent effort. So you have to trust yourself, build faith, and of course, the biggest support, the biggest thing you can do is get yourself good support systems to support your journey. Mentors, friends, colleagues, and your family members. You have to be surrounded by positive people. That is something I would really want everyone to, think about and cultivate in their journey. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Gaurav. Appreciate it, and of course, congratulations on your wonderful match. I mean, this is a big
Thank
achievement.
you so much, sir.
Visa seeking older YOG in IM, fantastic. And guys, if you have questions for him, put it in the chat. So where are you, Gaurav? Are you in India right now, or?
Yes, I'm in India. I'm in Delhi right now.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll end up meeting you next week. I'm coming to
For
Delhi
sure.
tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
sir.
Sudhir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. As we move on, there are a lot of you who've asked us about the match week discount. So, Aarti, if you can post that link for match week discount, so you can actually get a substantial discount on our gold, platinum, and bronze plans, as well as the electives and research. So, very, very attractive discount. I know, Babita, you've been waiting. So let's see if you can share your video. Hey, Mariam.
Hi, Mr. Pan. Hi, everyone.
Congratulations. And why don't you introduce yourself and talk a bit about your journey? Because I think you started early.
Thank you.
We helped you with rotations and research and the entire match. So why don't you talk about your journey a bit, where you are going, especially because you are also an older graduate.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fan. Hi, everyone. My name is Mariam Walizada. I am an old IMG graduate, and I applied for the match 2024, but that was unfortunately unsuccessful. Mainly because of lack of US clinical experience and research. But I took that experience as a learning opportunity, and I started on working on my application. Started from the beginning of 2025 by gaining US clinical experiences. And I worked with Sarthi team. They helped me with clinical rotations, most likely externship and observership in the US. Those experiences helped me understand the US healthcare system and improve my clinical skills. And that led to a very strong ladder of recommendations, which is very essential for the residency application. I also was involved in research projects, and I participated in those projects. I asked good questions. Throughout the research, I learned how to ask good questions and analyze the data, and subsequently contribute to the academic side of the medicine. And that strengthened my application and showed my commitment to evidence-based practice. Apart from that, mentorship is also a key piece. I had support from Sarthi team, especially Mr. Pon. Thank you, Mr. Pon, again. So he always was one message away when I had questions, and that guidance helped me stay more confident and stay on track. Apart from that, I had other mentors from my own networking, which gave me even more perspective. And finally, I focused on my optimizing my application and CV and personal statement, which Sarthi team helped me again with reviewing and correction of my CV and personal statements, and they made sure everything is good and was told in a strong and cohesive story in the personal statement. And also, again, I reached out to my mentors, which I had them from my own networking, and they also reviewed my personal statement and application, and they gave me feedback on overall my applications. And all those supports combined with my own effort helped me feel more confident and feel more confident that my application is as strong as it should be. And that is how I ended up matching this cycle in California in family medicine specialty, and I am so excited for that. And so overall, I can say, so work on your US clinical experience and research, do volunteer job, and don't give up. Just work hard, be persistent and consistent. You will finally get it.
So, Mariam, there is one question that I see in the chat. If someone is just getting started, they have no mentors. So, how do you find mentors? That's the question.
Yeah, so you can find by searching how I started when I failed in 2024. I started like networking, searching, Googling, YouTube. How I found Sarthi, I found it through YouTube. And then I contacted them and they responded me. That is how I connected with them, and kind of the door opens for me. From there, I improved day by day my connections, my networking, and that is how I got everything.
Well, thank you, Mariam. I'm very happy for you. I know, you were very apprehensive when you got started last year around the same time, but I'm
yes,
glad
you remember.
worked out.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Arfat, you remember last time here, at this time we were talking and discussing on everything, on planning. Now I'm so happy everything turned to success.
Yeah. Oh,
I really appreciate your support.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations once again, and best wishes for your move to California.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arfat.
All right, let's move on. And I posted, because some of you wanted the links again for rotations as well as the match plan. So take a look at that. And Abhishek, I think students have questions on the types of research also. So I think the C2P research would be a good one. So if you want to post that link, that'll be good. All right, let's move on. Our next speaker is Harsh. So Harsh, are you there? Harsh.
Hi.
Hey Harsh, how are you?
I'm fine. So
yeah, welcome. And why don't you introduce your and talk a bit about your journey and your challenges?
Sure. Hi everyone. My name is Harsh. I am from India, but I did my med school from a Caribbean university in Spartan, and it's a long journey that started in 2016, and finally this was my first cycle for applying. I was going to apply last year, but I didn't apply because I was busy with work, and I had a job over here in Jamaica. I'm currently in Jamaica. I'm working as a physician over here. So this journey, I wanted to start it early, but when I was told, I attended one of the Sarthi meeting that about how to do program outreach and networking. That's when the panelists told us that you need to put yourself out there and go out to these conferences that are there, and you need to introduce yourself to the US programs that are there. Otherwise, as an IMG, it's really difficult for us to make ourselves recognized over there. So I went for the AFP conference, and in that AFP conference, I actually met a lot of people that's when I realized that I'm actually very late in the whole process. So the whole journey of this match process has to start in March. Basically, in March, you should know that what exactly you are going to do for the next 6 months, where exactly you are going to do your rotations, how exactly you are going to plan your ERA CV, personal statement. Like this is where Sarthi, I was attending all the Sarthi meetings and I was trying to build myself for those things, but like I actually missed out on US clinical experience, and I realized how serious it was when I attended that meet like AFP conference. And luckily in that AFP conference, I met a few people and I got a few links about those US clinical experience, and I did it for 2 months. And that particularly helped me to build up my CV a little bit, but it wasn't enough. I would say, like, if personally anybody asks me that what exactly you should do, I would say plan yourself ahead. This whole match process, like starting from March to next March, is basically 1 year. It's divided in 2 phases. First 6 months go really fast. Like you are building up your CV, you are doing your US clinical experience, they go really fast. So, and the next 6 months, those last 6 months are basically a bit slower ones, because as IMGs, we tend to get interviews later in the October, November, December time. So you will feel that like you are getting interviews a bit late. You will get there, but it's a slow process and you feel that the time is going really slow. But it's not really in our hands. What is in our hands is the first 6 months where we build up our CV, personal statement, and try to do the most as we can. Like the like the USMLEs that we already gave, we can't really change that. But these things are actually in our hands. So we need to make the most of it to actually be a credible candidate. So for me, I would say this US clinical experience, and another one thing I would say is like the USMLE, like the Sarthi closed group, that was particularly very helpful, because even though if you like don't ask too many questions over there, but like people do ask a lot of questions over there, and I used to make that ritual to read each and every recommendation made by the mentors, because those tips and tricks, they really help you a lot. Over there, basically you learn how exactly you navigate through this whole process. And if you have any seniors or anyone who can vouch for you, make sure that like you reach out to them, because IM FM, like they have like 4,000, 5,000 application per season. So not every program, they say that they review each and every application, but like it's like one click of the button and your application is gone if your scores are not high enough. My scores were below average, I would say, but luckily like I was able to reach out to my mentors and like my seniors as well, where I could ask them to recommend. Like obviously you have to be a candidate who they can rely on, but try to put yourself out there, do networking as much as you can, and try to be like a person who they feel like working with. In an interview also, they would actually see if you are a person who is ready to learn or not. They don't really want someone who is the smartest one in the room. They want someone who actually has the willingness to learn. So this everything that I have learned through Sarthi has been really helpful. I luckily matched in my first cycle. I didn't apply, I didn't have to go for my second cycle, luckily. And like I had two IM interviews and one FM, but like I matched in my like FM interview, like FM program. And this is like I was happy with the program. When I visited the program, I really enjoyed it. So I'm particularly happy and I'm really thankful to Sarthi. If anybody asks me, I'll be like, sure, go ahead, but make sure you make the most of it. And whoever the mentor and seniors, whatever they tell you, make sure you try to work on it, because they have the experience of this for years and years. So this is what I would say to anyone who asks me.
Well, thank you very much, Hart. This was very, very useful, and I know how challenging it can be working in Jamaica and then with full-time job, going for this journey. So, in the interviews, how did you showcase your work experience. Were
So
there
yeah,
questions around your work experience?
a lot of, like, all of my interviews, I had the questions on my work experience. They were asking like, okay, what exactly do you do, how exactly is your day to day life, what exactly you are, how, what type of patients do you see. So obviously you need to be well versed of whatever you are putting on your CV. They can ask you questions on it. Like, everything is for scrutiny. Like, if you have made something up, but the thing is, you have to have something like a backup story of every single thing that you put on it. If you say at the in the interview that, oh, I really don't know about it, or like, oh, I'm not really sure, they will be suspicious about it. So I got a lot of my questions on my work experience, and I would personally tell people that don't underplay it. If you have a work experience, and if they are personally asking you, they are interested in what exactly you did. So make sure you make the most of it and tell them everything possible.
Well, thank you, Harsh. Appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank you
Great
so
news
much.
again.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And best of luck to everyone. It's a long journey. You'll get there eventually. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on. There was one question: how many months of USC is needed? So I think it depends on the profile, but like each of the speakers is telling, the more the merrier. I would say at least 3 to 4 months is required if you are a recent graduate. But many of you may not be able to get enough time off. So I think target minimum 3 months. That'll really help. All right. So the other thing which I want to highlight was Harsh mentioned about the closed Telegram group. So if all the students who are in our match plan, whether it's platinum, gold, bronze, they are part of a closed Telegram group which is run by our panelists, and it's a 7 by 24 group. We answer questions, each and every question. So there are students who are asking these questions, and this is a very useful group. Even if you don't have questions, others may have the same questions, and we talk about all aspects of the math. So that is one added benefit of the our match mentorship. Okay, let's move on. And I think the next speaker is Anuradha. She is incidentally in the same city as I am. So, Anuradha, welcome, and congratulations on your math. But
Thank you,
share
Pavan.
your journey a bit. Share your challenges. I know you've also been through a lot. So, how did you
Yes,
overcome your
of course.
challenges, and talk a bit about it?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Pavan. That USMLE Sarthi group is a very great support for us, like all graduates. And I joined the group like 4 years ago, and I didn't match in my first cycle. But still, these 4 years, the Telegram group, as you say, the closed group, is very much supportive. So for the newcomers and on the old grads, I sincerely advise, if you don't have time, like take in your free time, like spend 10 to 15 minutes for that group. Okay. Even if you don't ask questions, other people will ask about that. Okay. So then go through all the question and answers, especially by Dr. Thun and other panelists. Okay. So the if you go through those question and answers itself, then you will have an idea. Okay. This is for the fresh grads. But my talk, most of my talk is gonna be for the old grads like me. So for the old grads, if you have a work permit, like try to get the provisional license, limited license, because you know the filters and everything, the visa issues going on. So the provisional license or the limited license in Arizona, we call as a transitional training permit. That will help you a lot. That will give you the real world experience. Don't think that you are an old graduate. Okay, please wipe away that thinking from you. You have a lot of experience. Okay, bring that experience is unpolished for us, so polish that experience and tailor those experience according to the US health care requirements, and prepare a strong CV. Okay, that's very important. So if you are confined to one state, don't stick to that state. Okay, go for another rotations in different states. That's how the PD will have mental map. Okay, this candidate went out of the state and got her rotations, and then she will be able to relocate. That confidence that the PD will have when they are looking at your application. So I believe that Sarthi is arranging a lot of rotations like different states, so you can get to them for that experience. And um, uh, don't forget to take your step 3. Step 3 is another trump card for you. Okay, now with the step 1 pass or file situation, step 2 and step 3 is going to be a big play and trump card for all the old grads. So that will also boost up your CV. So don't delay on that. As I'm going to second all the statements of the prior speaker, Harsh, because the first 6 months is controllable under your hands. Okay, the other 6 months is an uncontrollable. That's not in your hands. So the first 6 months, focus on your CV, build your CV, and do as much as rotations. Get if you're able to get the provisional license and build your CV. And again, I'm telling that experience, US healthcare experience is very much important for IMGs because it's entirely different. It's all insurance based. You cannot perceive or assume that what we are doing in India, that it's not at all applicable here. Only your clinical skills are applicable, and other protocols and getting to the patients, the way you approach to the patients is very much different, like from your home country. So that you have to be very much aware, build a CV, and cling to a strong mentor or one person like who can guide you, and then get a strong recommendation letters that work for me very well. Okay, if you are going to a rotation, give your 100%. Challenge the rotation. Don't think that I cannot do it. It's very hard. They are very much like demanding. Like, so it's good they are demanding so that you can scale up yourself. So challenge yourself and build your clinical experience, because those clinical experiences will come spontaneously when you are attending the interviews. Don't need to think about that. No need to cook up your answers. When you are fully thorough and in a day-to-day life, that will help your interview skills. That's very, because the other 6 months you have to build on your interview skills. So that's very important to getting into the path. So for older graduates, I would say it's not a straight path. It's a hard path and a difficult path, but it's an achievable path. Don't believe in other sayings, believe in yourself. If you can do it, if you think you can do it, you can do it. If you have any
I
questions.
think, yeah, you raised a very important point, which is of step 3, I think. So you're saying that step 3 for older graduates is absolutely important.
It's absolutely 100%, sir.
Yeah. And US clinical experience or information or knowledge of the US healthcare system also is very, very important. That's where I think the USCE comes in.
Yes, sir. Especially the in-person rotations, because tele-rotations may be good for the fresh grads, younger grads, but others, in-person rotation, preferable hands-on experience, like will fetch you more interviews.
Did you get any clinical questions in the interviews? I think there was a question, and maybe this is more to do with the internal medicine, but did you get any clinical questions during
Yes,
your
sir.
interviews?
I got some clinical questions in 2 interviews, especially the one from California. So they had one interviewer with the with the clinical questions itself, like so to assess the clinical knowledge like that in California, one program. Like.
So while clinical questions is not something very, very frequent, but I think all of you should be prepared for clinical questions, and that can help you, because you never know who's on the other side of the table, and what type of questions they're going to ask. All right. Well, thank you, Anuradha, and
Thank you, Pawan.
congratulations
And
again.
also, I want to mention one thing in this.
Yes.
Pawan sir helped me a lot. Okay, the one I admire one thing is he is very much approachable. Okay, if you test him anytime, he will answer you, and even the personal private text like that. So we have good team, good mentors. Then you cling to that and achieve your goals. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, thank you, Anuradha. I appreciate your trust in Sarthi. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so how many months of USC per rotation is needed? I think Arya, you want to ask how many months of USC per specialty. So, like I said, if you are interested in internal medicine, for example, at least 3 months would be important, and likewise for pediatrics or FM. So try 3 months in each specialty. And Abhishek, I saw a question on emergency medicine EM rotation. So if you can post the links to our EM rotations, I think some students are looking for that. Again, as we move on, if you are looking for rotations or research or match plan, this is the match week. We've had a very good success this year, and a lot of discounts on the our match plans. Let's move on as Aarti and Abhishek are posting those links. Sonya, Mathew, one of our featured speakers, I should say, is with us. I would say she takes a record of the oldest IMG to match 29 years biology or 30 years biology. So Sonia, welcome. And, I think we are all excited and eager to hear about your experience. You broke a lot of records.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Pawan sir and the Sarthi team for having me here. As you said, I am a senior graduate. My year of graduation is 1996. Yeah. In 2024, I moved to the US with a green card. Till then, I was working in India, and then in Abu Dhabi Abu Dhabi, I worked for 11 years almost. Yeah. Then after, this is my second cycle actually. In 2012, I did my USMLE steps and applied once, and then after coming back to US, this is my second application, and it started with free profile review with Pawan sir. I've been following USMLE Sarthi for the last 2 years, and on the third year I joined Sarthi team. And as per guidance from Pawan sir, I did my application. I got help to make a good personal statement from the Sarthi team and a good edit for my raw CV. And as you're advised, I joined 2 rotations from here. And since 2025 March, I have been working as a limited permit provider in Bronx. So as Anuradha said, it is a very important milestone. Actually, it's a very strong experience in the US because we are getting real patients in our calendar and we are interacting with them. So it's a very good experience. And the 2 rotations given by Sarthi team also helped me very much, getting 3 fresh letter of recommendations from the US. And from the Sarthi, I got Telegram group where I could get all answers for all my questions. Yeah. And I received only 1 interview that was in January. And I gave my best to that interview because of the program specific questions received from the Sarthi team. I should really thank all of the team and my mentors who prepared my personal statement and ERA CV and who guided me for the interview questions. Yeah, that's...
So, Sonia, matching with 1 interview as an old graduate is quite an achievement.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that interview? How did you convince them that you are indeed, fit for the job. And, even after 30 years of IOG, you are committed to starting your residency.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I got an idea of the questions, program specific questions from the USMLE Sarthi questions bank, and I watched all the videos and I prepared myself for the questions specifically. And actually, I did not get any clinical interviews, personal questions. How will you take the challenge of doing a residency program after working for so many years? So I could answer them. Yeah, because and they valued my rotations and limited permit provider experience in the Bronx, and I got matched to the Yonkers St. Joseph's Family Medicine program. So yeah, maybe they valued my experience mainly. Yeah,
So I'm
they asked.
assuming there must have been questions about your prior experience even before the US. Were there questions on that, or they focus
Yeah.
only on the US experience?
No. They asked me about Indian experience and switching from India to Abu Dhabi and Abu Dhabi to the US. That was my struggle and the challenge. They asked me, what is your main struggle? So getting a clinical job in the US was my struggle. Yeah, by keeping myself updated. Yeah, that's what they mainly asked about me. How do you adjust to the new path? I mean, the new program. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Looks like you're driving, so I appreciate
Yeah.
you taking
Thanks,
some
sir.
time out.
Thank you, sir.
This is again very fantastic, 30 years biology and
Yes.
matching is excellent.
Yeah, for the senior graduates, I should say never look back, only look forward. Your journey, your persistence, your experience will take you there. That's my say to the senior graduates. Yeah. Thank you so
Wow.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonya.
Have a great day. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's move on. So there was a question, is the Telegram group exclusively for plan members? And the answer is yes. I mean, that's how we try to add value. So whether you join our Bronze, Gold, Platinum, or whatever match plan, you will have access to the Telegram group, and that adds a lot of value. So again, look at the match plans for those of you interested, or send us an email, Abhishek. Abhishek, if you can put your email down here so that if they have questions, they can reach out to you after the webinar. So Abhishek, if you can put your email, that'll be good. And Aarti has put the link to the match plan. So take a look at these match plans. All of them come with quite a big discount for this week. So, take a look at the features. And then if you have questions, you can send it to us. Abhishek is there as well. So he has put in his email and his WhatsApp. So take a look. Our next speaker is Zaheeda. Zaheeda, are you there? Hi. Congratulations and welcome. So why don't we get started? Why don't you introduce yourself? And then what was the major challenge or challenges in your journey? And how did you overcome?
So, hi everyone. My name is Zaheeda. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, which is in the Caribbean. I matched into pediatrics after a very long 6 years of application cycles. And I am visa requiring. I am an international medical graduate. Although I have clinical experience across Trinidad as well as in the United States, I did 2 years of US clinical experience in Chicago from late 2016 to 2018, and that was through my medical school. And my year of graduation was in 2019. I ended up coming back to my home country in 2019 due to not matching, as well as my visa at the time was expiring. So I had to come back home. And when I came back home, I began my internship in Trinidad, and we could not leave because then the COVID-19 pandemic hit. So then I became a frontline worker during that pandemic. And that experience really helped me to thrive as a physician. And since then, I held leadership roles in primary care in Trinidad. I did national level work developing phlebotomy standards training in Trinidad. And I did research. I started research in infectious diseases because I knew that having research on your applications for the US is always a plus. Not many people require it, like many programs, but it is always a plus. I became deeply committed to pediatrics with my specialty being hematology, oncology in the coming years due to my own health challenges with leukemia when I was diagnosed in 2021. So the key to matching this year after 6 years of trying definitely was mentorship, joining a mentorship program. And Sarthi, this is where Sarthi came in. And in previous years, my applications, my personal statements, I think it all lacked direction. And I applied to 2 different specialties at the same time. My story was not clear. It was not really well executed. And this is where Sarthi program really helped me to itemize things and to really have that clear direction as to what it is that I really want to do and what I want for my future as a career and for myself. What I realized is that you basically have to be selling your story, and you sell your strengths and your why it is that you choose this specialty, and why should that program choose you over hundreds or thousands of applicants to their program. So I did not hide my challenges, my failures, my health issues, but I showcased it in a way that my resilience came through. I didn't just put words onto paper. I made sure that I turned my story then into a story of growth and why it is that pediatrics fit me. And the third thing I did that was different is that I built connections with mentors, with people who have matched into residency, who are in residency, who have graduated from residency. So in that way, I took the advice of all of these persons and I made my application strong because of it. So I basically tailored my application, my personal statement, and with my experiences, everything towards one thing that I wanted, and that was pediatrics. And I made sure that my strengths came through in every detail or every wording that I did. I made sure that it was very appropriate, and well structured. For the program interview strategies that I used is that I focused on connecting with my interviewers rather than just sitting and just, answering questions. So I made sure that I showed preparedness and, how well I'm able to have conversations with them. And also I made sure to prepare in advance and know everything based off of my CV, my personal statement, my experiences, so that if they asked me any questions, I was able to answer honestly and not that I was, stumbling or fumbling to get through a question. And I was very direct in my red flags. Like, I have failures on my step 2. I failed step 3, and that was due to me rushing step 3 because I was still in treatment for leukemia, and I was rushing myself. So I took the time to really, heal first, health first, and then I took my step 3 and I passed my step 3. So I was able to showcase growth and dedication and resilience, in my interviews. And I think this is what really helped. My interviews became more of a conversation style rather than question and answer. So that really, helped. It also brought out my personality also, and confidence in terms of I felt very comfortable during my interviews. The other thing was my ranking approach. I made sure that I only got 2 interviews, and I applied to 75 programs, pediatric programs, based off of my profile. This 75 was what I could have applied to in terms of score, year of graduation, cutoff, failures, attempts. So it was 75 that I applied to, and I got 2 interviews. So I ranked my number one, which I got through in, which was my number one program. But I ranked based off of where I can grow, where I see myself fitting in, where I was most comfortable in environment that I would be most comfortable in. And I chose, my number one choice based off of how would that fit into my future goals, and how will that program help me to achieve that. And the last thing throughout this entire process, what this has helped for the past 6 years, basically, is my mindset. And I think once you are dedicated, once you have that growth mindset, and that mindset that I'm dedicated to this, I'm going to give my all to this, and whatever happens, I am moving forward. I think that is the most important thing to have going through this entire USMLE journey, the matching process, residency, and you start to carry yourself as that future physician. Then, responsibility, self-worth, all of these things would automatically sort of come on to yourself. So in closing, yes, I have failures. I withdrew from the match in 2021 due to my health concerns. And the thing is that I defined my endpoint, and I used each setback to rebuild and just come back stronger every time with mentorship. So I really want to thank the team at USMLE Sarthi for their guidance, their mentorship, and the facilities that they provide to help us through this process.
Oh, this is truly a very, very motivating and inspiring story. Overcoming your very serious health issues and then exam failures as a visa-seeking applicant. I mean, I think that's truly unheard of.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you must have done something very well. Okay. Well, congratulations again, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Right, let's move on. But then there are a couple of questions I want to answer before I go to Mohammad Ganiyani, who I see there. Can we do USCE on tourist visa? The answer is yes. B1, B2 visa is the only visa on which, if you're traveling to US, you can do USCE. And yes, Sarthi does provide visa invitation letters. So get in touch with Abhishek, who just posted his details. Abhishek, maybe post your email again. If you're looking for US clinical experience and visa letters and all, he can help guide you as well. All right, next speaker, Mohammad Ganiyani. Congratulations, Mohammad. I know it's been a long and hard journey. So, talk to us about your challenges and, how you navigated through them.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to say that I'm at Jacobi Medical Center, Albert Einstein Internal Medicine. So one of the biggest challenge of my journey was also a health issue. When I first came to US as a postdoc here, I got thymic mass in my chest. So it was also like a thymoma diagnosis. And within like few months, I had my step 2. So I took some time off, went through all workup, got my PET scan, got my surgery in the US. And then I redefined my goal and gave my step 2 in next 2-3 months later, and I was able to score well, and then I applied. So it delayed my application for a year. Only thing that was in my mind was that I was very clear about what I'm doing and what I want to achieve. So my timeline had to be just reshifted to another year. So I make sure that my application would look the best application among all the applications they are reviewing. So my focus was entirely on writing down and structure my experience in a way that will actually align with what they are looking for. They will look for resilience. So I have to mention this on my personal statement. So I have mentioned how I've navigated through this uncertainty, and like this is how I will be navigating in my residency training when things would be unclear and I would be in a lot of stress. Then I talked about how I was able to write 2 grants after recovering from surgery in next 3 weeks. So we got that grant actually. So I mentioned about how I navigated those challenges in a personal statement. So that really helped me in getting interview from good programs. Then one of the things that I really want to emphasize for the upcoming applicants is signaling. We all know that signal has played such an important role nowadays. You cannot afford to lose even one signal. So your time to start looking for the programs is now. You cannot search and decide signal a day before the application. You should start right now and see what programs are fit for you. If you are done with your step 2, you know which programs you should target. If you are not, then you should focus on programs in like 3 different tiers, whatever your step 2 score would be coming. But if you don't start searching on the programs right now, you will lose interviews, and that would be one of the biggest thing that I would advise. If you don't signal well, you lose your match basically. You should, what things you should look at signal. First thing is like how, whether they are inviting their gold signals. If they are inviting their gold signals around 30% plus from Residency Explorer, and it's in your reach program, you should definitely gold signal them. If you have connection, you should silver signal programs with connection and who had decent silver inviting rate. Many programs will not invite you on silver signal. That is very common. Everyone know it. And the third thing is visa. Some programs suddenly changed visa sponsorship this year because of the new federal announcement. So I lost one of my gold signal just because of visa. Otherwise, I would have got interview from there. So make sure you call them and you actually speak about visa, whether they would sponsor or not, and be very specific and only signal IMG friendly programs if you are visa seeking. Don't signal US IMD's program, because even if you get invite, you are very less likely to get matched there. So the third thing I want to talk about and emphasize a lot is the step 3. If you have not given your step 3 yet before the application, it's your time to give your step 3 ASAP after the application submission. This year there was a lot of delay because of the new the portal, and this all happened. A lot of people was not able to get certified a day before application. So, but next year it shouldn't be happening. You should not wait for pathway application until June. You should do it right now. Even if you haven't given your step 2, start pathway application, get OET and good standing, and be prepared for certification, so that once you give your step 2 result, you get certified, you are eligible for step 3. You should not waste your time after step 2. You should give step 3 ASAP, or if you have your timeline stringent and you have only few months for the application, give your step 3 after application in 1 and 2 months. I cannot emphasize more on step 3. This year, one of the major factors which helped people to get matched was step 3. Most of the people I talked about, they had who matched this year, they had step 3 done before the application or in the mid of cycle. So as soon as possible, get your step 3, update the program. The best strategy for you is that dedicated at least 3 to 4 hours of preparation during your whatever thing you are doing. It shouldn't be your primary goal to just sit for the it and give step 3. You should manage it with some major tasks like application or interview cycle with your job. So I gave my step 3 after I was still on a full-time job. I had only 18 days of preparation. My step 2 was done 7 months before that. I just targeted 100 questions a day after coming back from the job and just did that and gave my step 3. So you should just aim, if your step 2 is good, around 250, then 220 plus should be good enough, and it is not very hard to get in. If we have studied well for step 2, step 3 would be just a different style of questions. You have to make sure you do CCS cases and targets your step 3 ASAP. That's the best strategy, and you have to start looking at the signal. One of the things that I would advise for looking at signal is call the people who you know in the program and see like how the program looks at the signal. If they look favorably at silver signal with a contact, then you should silver signal them. If they only look at gold signal and that's a program you want to go, you should definitely gold signal them. Two things should be very clear for you, that gold signal is the program where you will most likely end up matching. And the second thing is, and you should be very careful while goal signaling the program. The program should be in your reach. If your reach is little bit, if you are 260, program should be taking only 260 candidates. Then you you should be like above par basically if you are signaling to a program. These are the strategies I believe that would be very helpful. And last thing I want to emphasize is that while writing your application, your experiences should reflect some of the very high qualities that program is looking for. Resilience. Your program is looking for someone who is adaptable. So your experience should highlight on that, because there's another section in the eras which is your most impactful experience. So you should use that as a way to highlight how you adopted in a different healthcare system. That's what is expected from you in residency. So these qualities you should focus on an application so that you get picked up for the interview. With this, and I also want to thank the USMLE Sarthi team. They were very helpful in reviewing the CV and personal statement. You should start preparing your application ASAP. If you delay it, no one can help you actually. If there will be a lot of back and forth with your mentors, with everyone when you write the application and personal statement. So the earlier the better.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So looks like, in your opinion, which I think is great, you focused a lot on signaling. So how do you pick the programs, which programs to signal gold? I think signaling strategy is the key. And then, like you're saying, step 3 is also very, very important. The journey does not end in CK. Step 3 is important. And that, your preparation has to start now. Don't wait till the end for your PSNC.
So,
yeah.
Thing I looked at signaling was mostly the program where I am standing above 50 percentile for the score, and the program who values research because I had a lot of research, and the program who is actually having a very good turnaround for gold signal. These are the 3 strategies I used for gold signal. And for silver signal, although I tried my best to use the same strategies, but there's a very poor turnaround for silver signal. So you are likely gonna not picked up. And it actually happened with me. I only got 1 silver signal invitation out of 12 and 2 out of 3 gold. So I got total 6 interviews, but the majority of were from the gold signals. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mohammad. Appreciate your time, and good luck in your residency.
Thank you.
Okay, before I proceed, I think Zaheeda, you posted an answer, but if you could post that to everyone. I think your answer was to hosts and panelists only. So, I think someone asked a question about program selection. So if you can post it for everyone, that'll be great. Sarthi does not help with Pathway 6. That's a different ball game altogether. So I think that was one question. Okay, let's move on. Our next speaker is Erine Joseph. So Erine, also our student who successfully matched this year. So Erine, congratulations.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you for helping me and all the team, because they did a great job in doing this and making this possible. Thank you. And my name is Erine Joseph. Nice meeting you all. So I got matched into United Health Centers of San Joaquin Valley, Fresno, California, internal medicine. So my journey started in 2022 when I moved to US after getting married. I underprepared my step 1 and I got failed in first step 1. It was a major blow, and I did take a step back. I did not get the right resources during that time. So I researched. Google was my main internet and everything, and then I reached to people who were in US, who were in. I reached out like everybody, like primary care offices. I actually printed my resume and reached to every medical office and every doctor and asked for a shadowing. None of them allowed, but still I waited, and then I applied to the Indeed. Through which I got my first job as a medical scribe. So important is that you are getting into US medical system and you need to. It's a lot more different than the Indian medical, and wherever the country is very different. So you get to use to EMR system. You get the people skills like talking, culture, how to approach. I got a sense of that, and then I gave my step one again in 2024. After that, I worked on my application, like getting US clinical experiences. So I worked in 6 months. I got an idea of how US healthcare system work, and then I applied for the next job as a research assistant. There, I got mentorship and research. More connections were made. I reached out to everybody, and then got more information on how to apply, which programs to apply, what are the strategies, what are the things they are looking. So majorly they are looking for the dedication, whether this person is going to work for them for the next 3 years. It is going to be a tough job. So whether this person is actually able to do it. So you have to show that I say that dedication, that resilience, that I will be continuous, I will be able to do this. So built on your US clinical experience, if you are like all graduate, you have some red flag like step one, I would say that. So that was one thing. And then connections. It's very difficult, especially when you are from a different country, to get connections. So reach out relentlessly. Do not have any shame. You don't have anything to lose. Just message them, ask them very politely which platform they prefer, whether it's a call, whether it's a messaging app or whatever it's, because we usually tend to assume that we can call them, and it's not like that in US. They very specific that you should take an appointment for their messaging calls and all of that. So make sure that you have that courtesy to do. All that matters when you apply to the program, and then when you reach out for their input. So one was that. And if you're stuck with something and if you don't know what to do, always get into
did we lose her?
USMLE.
Oh, no, you're back. Erine, sorry.
Yes.
We lost you for a minute.
Okay. So if you're stuck at some point, always get a guidance like USMLE Sarthi for rotations, for what to do next steps. So at some point it is too much, because I did like step one in 2023, step two in 2024. By that time I was overwhelmed. I did not know what to do. So I went to USMLE. They guided through what are the next steps, like get more letter of recommendation, get more experiences. So you can always approach them. And I got a wonderful mentor who was like guiding me on personal statement, letter of recommendations, and what to write on CV. So first would be like step one, step two, and then work on the US clinical experience. Because I think for me, US clinical experience actually did a great part, because I wasn't much into the research. I did not have any papers published. And honestly, signaling did not work much. I got matched to a program which I did not signal. I didn't have any connections over there. So both of it didn't work. It is different. Each people's journey is very different. So yes, that's what I have to tell. Relentlessly try to be with US clinical experience. It does make a difference if you are old graduate and have a setback like a red flag. So that's pretty much about it. If any questions are there, I'm happy to help anybody who wants to reach through USMLE Sarthi.
So you're saying as an older biology, USC is very important. Now, did you do step 3 before the match?
No.
Okay, so that
it's
was
good to do. It's the best thing to do, but unfortunately, I was not very sure whether I will match or I will not match, and I had some issues, personal issues, so I couldn't I did not want to fail basically again in a step 3. So I was like, let me wait for the match result and then give. Yeah, so I did not have the step 3. Ideally, step 3 should be done.
Yeah, that's what, but yeah, you must have had very strong aspects in the other parts of the profile. So
Always
they were
been
okay
in
with
clinical
you.
touch, so probably that should be the factor they wanted it.
Yeah, no. Well, congratulations again,
Thank
Erine,
you.
and thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Now, do you have to relocate or you don't have to relocate?
I have to be like 8 hours from, but it's in California, so good, good weather.
Good, you
Everything
can
is
stay
good.
in that same state.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much again for the
Yes,
team for all the
absolutely.
help.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So as we wait for other speakers, I think a couple of them are running late. Again, if you have any questions on our match plans or even otherwise, I can take the questions now. Yes, we do have rotations, both virtual and on-site for those of you who want to know. The match plans also come with mock interviews. So take a look at the features of the match plan, which are on our website, and then we can go from there. So I do have a couple of minutes as I'm waiting for other speakers. If you want to ask questions, go ahead and I will try to answer them. Let me see if I missed anything that people may have posted. Are these LORs enough? I don't know what these LORs. I mean, basically, you got to look at least 3 US LORs, but depending on your YOG. That's a very important question. Does virtual rotation have the same weightage as physical rotations during the match? So I think all of us need to understand they are very different things. We typically tell you to do on-site rotations. I don't think they are a substitute tele-rotation, but there are a few cases where tele can be very, very useful. In fact, as in our Bangalore meeting today, in the Bangalore conference, we had a student who had no rotations, not even tele rotations. But match is a portfolio, right? So she had a 272 in CK and she couldn't get a visa, so she didn't do a rotation, right? So the point is, if you can do on-site rotations, do it. Otherwise, tele rotations can be done, but remember, they look at your profile as a whole. And tele rotations may be more useful if you're a recent graduate. But if you're an older graduate with some gaps, I think tele rotation is not the answer. Now, of course, if your visa is rejected, you don't get visa and all of that, then you will have no option but the tele rotations. We've had students this year and each year who have matched without any on-site rotation. So one of them, like I mentioned, the student was in Bangalore today, and the other, we do have students who have matched pre-matched actually in internal medicine without on-site rotation. I'm interested in emergency medicine, couldn't find many EM applicants. So EM is a very competitive field. There's no doubt about it. And especially there was a couple of years when IMGs went a lot into emergency medicine right after COVID. Now it has become very, very competitive. I think the SLOE, the standardized letter of evaluation, is something you absolutely will need for emergency medicine. It is competitive for IMD, so the chances of matching in EM are less. All right, what other questions can I answer? I know there were a few other speakers, so I'm waiting for them, but let's take this opportunity to answer some questions. Interested in dermatology. So let me take this question. Again, I don't know your profile, but dermatology, orthopedics, they are very, very competitive specialties. I would encourage you to look at the NRMP match data, look at the students who have matched in these specialties. The match rate is low single digit for IMGs. So it is doable, of course, but not an easy task. Okay, so someone is a 2023 graduate and working as a junior resident. So yeah, I mean, 23 is not a bad biology, right? You can absolutely match, but I think you want to do on-site rotations. Your work experience will definitely be valuable, whether it is in the ICU or emergency medicine or critical care medicine. A lot of IMGs, what they do is they do not sell their home country experience as they should. So home country experience is actually very, very valuable. Irony is they don't like the home country LOR, but the experience is valuable, and it can really turn the scale in your favor as you navigate the interviews. Can you get multiple LORs from one USCE? Yes, there are USCEs where you can get 2 LORs. Okay, there's a question from Janvi. LOR in family medicine and LOR one in FM, hands-on, one in outpatient. So yeah, I mean, you seem to have covered your bases in the FM kind of scenario with the LOR. So I think you should be fine. I wanted to do EM rotation with Sarthi, but if we can get a slowy, yes, you can get a slowy on that. All right. Having said that, we have our other speaker, Timorejot Kaur. So welcome, Timorejot, and congratulations on your match. We are just discussing, if you can start off with introducing yourself and, which specialty you matched and some of the challenges that you had to overcome for the match.
Hello everyone, my name is Timorejot Kaur and I matched in internal medicine at St. Agnes Medical Center, Fresno, California. And after giving my step 2, I felt a lot of relief and anxious also. Relief because one of the major milestone was done, and anxious because I didn't know how to approach the next steps. So I thought everything was online. I spent hours searching rotations online. But the thing is, that's when I realized that in order to get good rotations at good institutes, you have to apply at least 6 months to a year before. I didn't know beforehand. So I didn't receive any replies on my emails. I just had 3 to 4 months before I had to submit my ERAS application. And that's when I decided to seek help from Sarthi. I had the best thing that happened to me was to get a mentor like Mr. Pawan, who had guided so many applicants before me and who understood the system and gave me really personalized advice according to my profile. And with Sarthi team, I was able to find rotations very quickly as well as research experiences.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. And the support didn't stop there. I had support all throughout my ERAS application. Like there was so much that I didn't know beforehand. I was like, you just have to give your exams and fill out your experiences. But that it's not very simple. You have to have very good rotations as well as research, how to present yourself, how to write your experiences that the programs would understand better. You just can't write anything on your ERAS application. And even after the application, you have to find the right programs you want to apply to, the programs that align with your credentials, that would actually look at your profile. All the guidance is present on the Sarthi videos, and you have your mentor also. And there is a group also. Like you continue to get support from everywhere. And even after your application is submitted, you have to prepare for your interviews and what type of answers they want to hear, how to present yourself, how to communicate effectively. I think all this is very important in the residency match application. And I feel that though I did join Sarthi, if I had joined earlier, I would have gained much more opportunities and strengthened my application even more. So, my advice to anyone who is thinking of seeking a guidance or kind of mentorship is to start early and join early so that you have the best possible experiences that you want and you have the best possible opportunities that you want to gain. And I just want to thank the whole team as well as Mr. Pawan for all the mentorship and the guidance that they had given me. I truly believe that I would not have matched if it wasn't that at the right time I had joined the Sarthi team. So all the best to everyone who wants to, who's going through this journey. And time is very important. And be sure to seek guidance at the right time.
That's very humble of you, Timorejot. I mean, after all, the hard work is yours. But thank you for your compliment. What was the biggest challenge you would say in your journey?
My biggest challenge was to prepare for step 2. I had come from India, moved to a different country, and everything was very new to me, and I didn't find the right time to study and how to manage the family. I'm married, and how to manage the studies. So that phase was very hard for me to prepare for the exam, I would say.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on your wonderful match. Thank you. All right. As we move on, let me take a couple of questions, and then I think our next speaker, Asel Kabashi, she's there as well. I can see her. The question is it okay to do rotations under IM subspecialties? That's fine. You can do it in any of the IM subspecialties if you are interested in IM. Okay. All right. Asel, you there? Asel Kabashi.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
So she had a very good or a different profile, I would say, and she's taking a different path altogether. So far, what you've seen is people in categorical kind of programs. And so let's hear from Asel on what her journey has been so far and how she is planning the rest of it. So Asel, is your video, can we get the video? Or?
Unfortunately, because of the time change, I will be just joining through audio if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your journey?
Sure. So, long story short, I am an old grad with 10 plus years of graduation. I have extensive research experience, and I have multiple attempts at applying to residency. And I accepted an offer for a preliminary position this year. I'm not sure how, I would say I am unconventional candidate, and it's really hard. All the advice that you find like online, Reddit, it's hard to, I found it very hard to be applicable and relevant to myself because I wasn't really fitting the average standard applicant profile. That's number one. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, the truth is that I personally oftentimes when things work out, but it's my personal experience, like a disclaimer, my personal opinion is that we don't really know what will work out. So, and because of that, you should try pretty much everything that's out there, whether it's a rotation, research experience, any exposure, just because at the end of the day, you don't know exactly which part of your application will will weigh in and help you, mostly because there are so many programs. Oftentimes, IMGs apply broadly, and you don't know personally each program. Of course, if, for example, you have very detailed insider information of a particular program, then you can adjust your profile to fit what they're looking for. But otherwise, for majority of people, it's say 100 plus amount of programs, roughly, right, what they're looking for, and you just pretty much try everything and see what sticks. And the rest is, I cannot say like, oh, this is, if you do this, I don't think anybody can say that, oh, if you do this, it will make you gonna match. Overall, we all have like data and RMP analysis. We know that certain things will increase your chances for a match. End of the day, I would say it's the number of interviews. The higher it is, the more likely you are to match. So your job is basically trying to bag as many interviews as possible. And according to NRMP data, all the characteristics, obviously, the closer you are to that perfect candidate, the higher the number of the interviews will be. The farther you are from those characteristics, I don't know, be it a lower score, multiple attempts, a year of graduation, the less are the amount of interviews you're going to get. And that translates to your chances for match.
So, Asel, you've been applying for multiple years. Was this year any different, or did you continue the same strategies as previous years?
No, I figured out. So again, because of my research background, I completely changed the strategy. I definitely, it was a broader application, number one. Number two, I think it's also, it's like with job search. Sometimes just market is bad. You may be a good candidate, but there are just like things are bad, economy is bad. So I think this year what I noticed as somebody who is not visa requiring is that lots of programs, something that was a huge red flag, something, let's say 5+, 10+, no, completely zero chances. This year I did get an attention from programs where I did not signal, where I did not, court the program in any shape or form. I did not even know that I applied to, just because it was such a broad application, right? And I suddenly get interview and I suddenly get attention. And that was very surprising. And I think that kind of shows and reflects the current situation with the changes in immigration, the visa, political situation. I feel because I have seen other cycles, like year of graduation, something that really used to hurt you. If you are non-visa requiring, you will find programs that will be more forgiving about this part of your application, and they may give you a chance.
Well, thank you very much, Asel. Appreciate your time, and congratulations, and of course, good luck for the upcoming year, and we'll work together on your advanced match or for the next year as well.
Absolutely, Mr. Kara. Again, I would like to use this opportunity to thank you for all the guidance, tips. And as I say, I think for those tuning in, thinking whether they should, join the Sarthi community or not, I think the answer is that it's like you can certainly, I feel like with Sarthi team, you are spared all the time and effort and energy, because finding an information, putting it together, it all requires enormous amount of time and dedication. So I feel with Sarthi, all those things, it's like, I don't know, going to the restaurant and you say like, I want this, this on the menu, and it will be delivered to you, right? With the right consistency. But of course you can prepare that soup at home, but it will take you need to do the trips to the supermarket. You need to pick the ingredients. You need to have several unsuccessful attempts where the taste was not good or the spices, eventually, right? Depending on how much time you are ready to spend in the kitchen, how much money you are ready to, keep buying and trying, you will get there. but going to the restaurant, you're going to get exactly what you need. So I think for those, especially who are very early in their journey and who don't want any multiple attempts, who want to have one shot and they want to land where they want, definitely I would recommend using the help, the guidance that you will definitely find with Sarthi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, our next speaker is Lisette. She's excited and happy as usual to help other IMGs. So, welcome, Lisette. Why don't you share a bit about your challenges, your journey, and how what all did you do for this season to match?
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisette Kiadidi. I am an IMG certified international medical graduate from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I currently live in Colorado. I am truly excited to share that I successfully matched into pediatrics for the 2026 match. Today, I will be sharing my personal match journey, including the challenges I faced, the strategies that helped me succeed, and practical lessons that can help you on your own journey. I completed my medical training in 2009, so that makes me another graduate. And after my medical school, I worked as a general practitioner, and later I was promoted to the head of a district, the health district in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where I learned adaptability, resilience, and leadership. After moving to the United States, I founded a healthcare organization, Living Better LLC, that supports individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So through this journey, I had the strong support of my family, my husband, who believed in me and kept encouraging me when I had difficult moments, and they kept reminding me why I chose this journey. At the same time, I remained deeply committed to medicine by completing clinical rotations in pediatrics, internal medicine, and family medicine. So your journey doesn't have to be conventional to be successful. Like many IMGs, my journey has not been followed a conventional path. So it has been different, but this journey has shaped who I am today as a physician. So challenges I faced. My path came with real challenges. I am being a 2009 graduate, adapting to a completely new healthcare system, understanding how to build a strong EWAS application, finding the right US clinical experiences, and balancing professional goals with personal responsibilities. There were moments of uncertainty, moments of doubt. But with persistence and with the support of my family and USMLE Sarthi, I stayed focused on my goal. Your challenges do not disqualify you in this journey, but they help you be prepared. So what helped me to match? One of the biggest turning point in my journey was the right guidance. So the first thing is the right guidance. USMLE Sarthi played a key role in my success. They helped me identify and secure US clinical experiences, understand how to approach research strategically, prepare effectively for interviews, and navigate the ERAS application process step by step. This guidance gave me clarity, direction, and confidence. You don't have to figure out everything on your own. Please seek guidance. 2, US clinical experience. My rotations, especially my pediatric rotations, were essential for my match. They helped me understand the US healthcare system, build strong patient communication skills, work within multidisciplinary teams, earn meaningful letters of recommendations, and most importantly, gave me concrete clinical examples to use during my interviews. 3, owning my story. I stopped seeing my year of graduation as a weakness. I started presenting it like a strength. My leadership in Congo, my work with underserved populations, and my role as a founder all became part of a powerful narrative. 4, interview preparation. Intentionally. Practicing common questions, structuring my answers clearly, and speaking with confidence and authenticity. Your interview is your voice. Please make it count. The turning point came when I fully accepted my journey. I stopped comparing myself to others and started to own my path, including graduating in 2009. And I leaned into the strength I had around me, especially my family and USMLE Sarthi. Confidence begins when you stop apologizing for your story. Key advice for IMGs. 1, your year of graduation is not the end of your journey. 2nd, seek the right guidance and mentorship. 3rd, focus on strong US clinical experience. 4th, build and own your story. And 5th, surround yourself with supportive people. It's not about being the newest graduate. It's about being the most prepared, the most resilient, and the most supported. Matching as an IMG is not easy, but it is absolutely possible. Today I'm here as a 2009 who matched into pediatrics with the support of my family, the guidance from USMLE Sarthi, and persistence. If I can do it, you can do it too. Thank you so much.
Wow. Very, very motivating. Yeah. No, I think this is very motivating. You're actually a role model, having overcome so many challenges as an older YFB. So I think very impressive. I think your entire journey is very, very impressive. So thank you for sharing, and good luck in your residency.
Thank you so much. I am so thankful to you and to the entire Sarthi team for this opportunity. So I couldn't have done it without you, seriously, because I was lost. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do until I spoke with you, and my journey started for real. Thank you. I'm so grateful and I'm so happy. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisette. And good luck again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's move on. I think Sruti is next. So, Sruti, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, so let's go to Sruti, and then the next will be Swetha, and then Sravanthi. So, yes, Sruti. Why don't you introduce yourself and your challenges and how you overcame?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for giving an opportunity to talk. And I'm truly happy and blessed to be able to share my experiences with each one of you. I'll just take few things because everyone who have spoken in before me might have given many tips and tricks on how to match. I'm an old graduate. I graduated in 2019 and I moved to the US in 2020. I ended up in some unfortunate situations and I started my preparation as of January 23. I really wanted to match in my first cycle, like every one of you wanted to. And I gave my first step in April 23 and second step in August 23. Ended up in a below average step 2 score. So, one mistake from what I did is don't rush your step 2. Step 2 is the biggest point that they hinge on, and your score is something they pivot and applications get filtered out if you're getting a low score. So make sure you're at least getting above between 230 and 240 is, I would say, is a decent score. You don't have to aim for 270s or 250s. No, you don't have to, especially if you're applying for pediatrics, which is my specialty. I think it's okay to have a decent score like a 230 to 240. And the second thing is you shouldn't give up. I have my friends who studied with me during my step 2 and step 1. They didn't match as I did in the first 2 cycles, and for the third cycle they didn't apply. I was like, why would you do that? So if you don't match for the first cycle or second cycle, apply for third cycle. I'm so glad to hear from my peers who matched that they have applied for 6 cycles. That's amazing. That's the kind of resilience all of you should have when you're applying. And when people ask you that what's going to be your plan B because you didn't match for the last 2 cycles, if you don't match now, I would always say I will see if I don't match, because don't have a plan B. Matching is only your plan. You should only have one plan. That's your match. And well, I should tell about my work experience too. When I didn't match in my first cycle, I got my results. I didn't match in SOAP, and it was March 20 again. I didn't take a day to think and mourn that, oh God, I didn't match. What should I do now? After knowing that I didn't match in my SOAP in my first cycle, the same day I applied for Arizona State Medical License. Within 3 days, I got my license. And 3 months later, I got my job. What was I doing for 3 months? Every single day, I would call 5 to 6 clinics asking for a job. 3 months, every single day. I would say I called for 100 or more clinics to get my job. And I landed here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Pawan sir again was very nice to me, and he checked all the surroundings where I was working. He said it's safe to work here. Before I moved here, and then I worked for 3 months from July 24 to September 24. Applied for my match again. Probably it was like 4 or 5 months into my job. I applied for like 100 programs for pediatrics. I didn't match again. So what will I do? I continued to work in my job. My work was really, really hectic. So I was even taking Sundays and Saturdays to finish my charts because I was seeing almost 20 patients a day. And I couldn't give my step 3. So I took a break from my work in December 25. But what stood out during my interviews was not my step 3. Having said that, it's not you shouldn't make a decision that you're not going to give step 3 before interviews. I would still give step 3 before interviews if I had not matched this cycle. So I didn't give my step 3, but my work experience of 18 months mattered so much. Everyone who interviewed me, they were like, "So you're an endocrinologist now. You have been working in the US for 18 months." Well, I said, "I'm not an endocrinologist, but I can diagnose and treat well independently on many endocrine conditions. But I'm still interested in pediatrics. Adult treatment is not something I'm primarily interested in." So I left my job in December 25, and I was preparing. If I don't match in the main cycle, I should be able to match in SOAP. So after leaving job, I did one more rotation, that is inpatient, in-person rotation in Texas. So the trick there is I got an interview from Texas Tech, El Paso. It's a Texas Tech, Odessa. I went there, worked for 1 month. I proved myself and asked him, "You know what? I want you to write an email more than a letter at this point." It's in January. That's the time when programs decide their candidates. So I asked him, "I want you to write a letter saying that this person is very talented, she's very reliable and very resilient, and send it to the program director," because he's also part of Texas Tech Physicians. So he sent it to the program director, and within a week, the program director video messaged me on my phone saying that, "Hey, Sai, we loved your interview, and all the best for the match." So that's what happened there. I know that something is good because usually program directors don't video message you on your phone. That's not a usual thing. But I still ranked a university program as my first choice. It's UNLV. I matched there. I matched in my first choice. I just got 3 interviews, but I made everything count. After my third, so for every interview, I had this pre-interview get to know kind of pro forma. I think these days most of the programs are doing that. So I made sure that I really wanted to go there. I did that for every interview I got. I got 3, and all 3 of them were extremely positive. I went in person for one program after giving my interview. That one program was like, "You know what? We really loved you when you're here because of the attitude or in-person interaction. We would love to see you here." And then that's how the interactions went. When I matched in my favorite program, first choice, I was on cloud 9. Obviously, I was not expecting to match in a university program, being an old graduate. But what I would like to say is have faith in have belief in your faith more than your fear. I would like to say that. I would repeat this. Have belief in your faith more than your fear. You will definitely match.
This is very, very, yeah. No, this is very impressive. And I think the unique things you did, especially after January, just a focused strategy is very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So how did you get a medical license in AZ without match? So yeah, you get state licenses for almost 11 states now: Arizona, Missouri, Kansas. Arkansas. There are Massachusetts. You have one in New York. I would say whoever is an international medical graduate, even if you're not having a work visa, I would still say get a New York license and Massachusetts license. There is still a chance because a state is accepting you to work in their state, right? Why would the program not accept you? So try getting a Tennessee, New York, Massachusetts, and Texas. If you have, if you are an international medical graduate, if you have a home country residency, get a Tennessee and Texas license because they might even give you a visa option. But one thing is getting a job through a state license should not be your end goal, because I have seen a lot of other residency guidance programs selling you the American dream, saying that you will get a job without a residency in the US, but that's going to be a dead end. Any job you get in a US should only direct you towards getting a residency, but that's not your American dream. I would say that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sruti. Appreciate your time. And again, congratulations on the match. Good luck on your journey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's move on. The next speaker is Swetha. So, Swetha, are you there?
Yeah, sir. Good morning, sir.
Hi, Swetha. So, why don't we get some introductions from you, and what were some of the challenges that you overcame?
Yeah. So let me first I want to say thank you, big thank you for your guidance has shaped me where I am today. So basically, back in India, I was an ophthalmology postgraduate. I have done it for 3 years. Due to some personal reasons of my marriage, something, I moved to United States during the year of 2023. So I want to rush the step things and I want to join immediately into residency so that I don't want to have any gaps in between my Indian residency or US residency. So I started rushing and preparing for step exams. So unfortunately, during my step 2 exam, I failed by 1 mark in the first attempt. So then that's how I called you. So I still remember the day I called you crying. I was in a lot of tears. I just want to rush the things. So I called you. I think my husband first approached you for the process. Since I was crying, I don't know what to do. So you're the one who guided me. That's okay, Swetha. People always lost sometimes. You told me so much thing. Then I asked you, can I re-evaluated my marks? Everything I asked you, all the chances you told me that it's only just 1 mark. You can go for it, but 90% of the students doesn't get anything. So try for 1 more time. You can do it. So you said all these things and you stayed in constant touch with me. So I was like, okay, just give 1 more try. Then I got 240 in my next attempt within a month. So then I joined USMLE Sarthi for everything. Sarthi, I must say, sir, for everything I'll call or message you. Sir, can I have this doubt? I just want to do this rotation. What do you tell? What's your opinion on this? So everything you guided me, and also you asked me to join in the research programs which Sarthi is offering. Dr. Indranil Basure, I must say he also played very pivotal role in my matching process. He guided me how to do research and how the research helps for your matching process, and he told me how to explain the research things, everything in the interviews. So that's also helped me a lot, I would say. And also coming to personal statement. So I have written my personal statement. I submitted USMLE Sarthi for the corrections. So thing is like, I guess it was one of the pediatric neurologists. She guided me. This is not the thing you have to write. This is the things you have to include in your personal statement and CV. So that's how Sarthi guided me to write. So finally, in September 25, this was my first cycle. So in September 25, I applied to the math cycle. So I got 3 interviews again. A lot of classes from USMLE Sarthi. I joined each and every classes from you. So I just had 1 book. I have written everything in this book, how to Each question I used to write the question. I used to write with 2 pens, like my answer and the other answer from you. You used to say this is the wrong in your answer. This is the thing you had to correct. This is how program directors would like to hear from you. So I had taken all these points, and so I implemented that in the interviews as well. So they were like, you have done, but now even though you do have some setbacks, the challenge doesn't define you. You came back again. So I was like, when I was explaining them about my failure in step 2, I just followed you. Sir, you told me in one of my classes, don't tell it as your challenge. Don't show it as a weakness. Show it as your strength. Then they will acknowledge you, and then they'll find you that you are the one for them. That's how I showed it as my strength rather than weakness. That's how they selected me. I'm very happy since it's my first cycle. I didn't expect with this failure in my step exam, but I got that. I must say thank you.
This is, no, I mean, matching after a failure in the first attempt is very, very impressive. So, I think you followed the advice and you actually implemented it. In the end, it's a lot about how do you implement that advice that matters.
Yeah, I say trusting in the process and trust in you will make you where you should be.
So would you say the biggest challenge was your YOG and the attempt you had, or was there anything else in terms of the challenge?
I would say it's not year of graduation or any failures. I would say stopping yourself. No, I can't do this, and giving up is the major failure or setback to your preparation. I would say that's the important thing. You should never give up on your journey anytime. It will come if it is the right thing, and if you are trusting the process, and if you are giving you 100%, it will come definitely to you on one day.
All right. Well, any other tips that we missed that you wanted to share with others? Anything else?
Yeah, so far that's it. I can.
Well, thank you very much, Swetha. Appreciate your time and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Rose against the odds. So very well done.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's move on. The next speaker is Sravanthi. So Sravanthi, sorry for the delay. I think now we are ready for you. So
no worries at all, Pawan. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Why don't we start with a bit of introductions about you so that others can get to know you, and then tell us about your journey, your challenges, how you made it work.
Yes, sure. I'm very happy to be here to share my journey today. So I'm Sravanthi, and I matched in the 2026 main residency match in pediatrics. So I'm a first-time applicant, and I matched, and I'm truly proud of it. So coming to my story, actually, I graduated in 2013 from a medical school in India. And after that, I moved to the US in 2016 due to my marriage. So I started my journey in the year 2016 originally. So by the time I started, even then, there were like many people whom I approached for guidance. They told me that I was already an old applicant and it will be very difficult for me. And somehow I gave a lot of strength to their opinions, and I thought probably this is really a big red flag in my application. And I started my journey with very low confidence. And unfortunately, I also failed in my step 2 exam. And that completely shattered my confidence. And then I thought, like, this journey is not for me, and I totally gave up on it. And as I was already living in the US, I worked as medical assistant for a few years on and off, and then life happened in between. I became a mother, so now my daughter is 6 years old. So yes, even through all these years, I always had this feeling that my dream that I want to practice medicine, I want to be a doctor, was always there. And along with this, like this feeling, I also had this fear of being this old grad, and I'm also an applicant with multiple red flags, like a failed attempt and an old grad. So these feelings coexisted, both that I want to be a doctor, I want to practice medicine, and the fear that I will not be able to match. So somehow in 2023, I gathered my strength, and then I thought I have to give one last try. because this process is not about matching or not. This process is about, have you tried it or not? Because I gave up my journey even without trying, even without applying once. So somehow I got my confidence and I restarted my journey. And the second time when I restarted my journey, the thing I did is I did not ask anyone for their opinion. I didn't ask them like, do I have a chance? Will I match as an old applicant? Will it be a possibility for me? Because I know that people are going to give opinions, and opinions are not actually facts. Facts are different, and I would know if I will match or not only if I apply. So thinking like this, I started my journey, and I have also seen some inspiring videos on YouTube, like the Sarthi was giving already uploading so many videos, people who are old grads and multiple red flags, they applied and they matched, and that gave me a lot of inspiration. And then I had to retake my step 1 and step 2 because it was more than 7 years, and I took all my exams like step 1, step 2, step 3, one after the other. I got ECFMJ certified, and toward my preparation time too, I remained clinically active. So I traveled across multiple states to gain experience across multiple states, and from the time I started my journey, I was already focusing on pediatrics. I know that it is what I wanted to go for. So I focused most of my rotations in pediatrics, both inpatient, outpatient, and I did some university rotations as well as like a mixture of clinic and university. And these rotations not only helped me, like to build a strong CV, but it also helped me like gain confidence. I was talking to patients every day, and I was also talking to my attendings, and some of the university programs I met residents, and I gained some of my confidence that I might still have a chance to match. So I applied in 2025 September, and even while applying, I applied only to pediatrics, and I applied broadly, but I kept a strategy to target a specific few programs. I used to research about every single program and see the details, like if there are any programs that would take in my profile. So even in the programs, like some of the programs, they deliberately mentioned that YOG is not a cutoff for them, or they didn't mention anything about YOG or the step attempts. So I tried to specifically target those programs and write letters of intent for them. I wrote personalized personal statements for them. And I signaled accordingly also. And throughout this journey, the Sarthi team was also there. I had a mentor like Dr. Satnarayan. He was very supportive for me. He helped me with, like making all these strategies and what type of clinical rotations I should be doing. And there were like a lot of days when I had self-doubt, and I always used to like discuss with him like how I'm feeling, and he always used to give me positive words. So finally I was able to apply, and I also heard that sometimes algorithm just rules out applicants based on their YOG or based on their attempts, and thinking that way, I was very worried. I was very scared. I thought I will not receive even one interview, but however I got 7 interviews. I did not expect
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was on top of the world, really. Like, I thought, match or not match, I am here. I have 7 interviews, and people saw my application. And even during my interviews, more than 50% of the time I spent talking about my rotations, my experiences there. So that tremendously helped me. And they also asked me like how I coped up, like you had a failed attempt, and then I came out with a very good score in step 2. So sharing my original story and how I just I did not give away, and I kept moving. I kept moving forward. Many of the interviewers also appreciated me. So that is my story. So if there are any old grads doubting that is this the right path for them, I would definitely say that this is the right path, and you have a chance, and this is a possibility. All you have to do is just be consistent in your step preparation, in your rotations, and also be strategic. Apply broadly, but also be strategic, targeting programs and all that. And definitely do seek help, like having mentors and having a team to help you, like when to send a letter of intents, and all that will definitely help you tremendously. So this is my story, and I'm very happy to share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Sravanthi. Much appreciate and very proud of you. It's 7 interviews. This was a great feature.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's move on. We have a couple of other speakers. So Rahul is there. So Rahul, are you there?
Yes, Dr. Kera. Can you hear me?
Hey, how are you, Rahul?
Good. How are you?
Good. So thank you for coming in, and why don't you share your about you a bit in terms of the profile, and then some of the challenges you overcame.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna be brief and short, so that everyone will understand where I come from. I'm originally from southern part of India, and as everyone else, I'm a first generation doctor in my family. I had no guidance or mentorship, and I went into medical school over there. I graduated in 2022. I gave my step 1, step 2, step 3 exams before my application, but like I did not match in my first cycle after the graduation. I have given my step 1 in the score system, not in the pass and fail. I got 251 score in step 1. I got 239 in step 2 and 220 in step 3. And I got 5 interviews in my first first cycle. But unfortunately, I did not match in the first season. And then later, I took up a research position at University of Miami in the cardiology department, and I did not apply for 1 year. And after 2 years, I applied right now with a strong research profile. And fortunately, I was able to get around 9 interviews. And right now, I'm matched at a university program in Texas. So, like this kind of journey is kind of a very tough journey, I would say. Like I doubted myself in a lot of ways, but again, like not giving up at any point of time will definitely help everyone, keep moving forward. And today, I just want to share a couple of things regarding people have questions and doubts regarding what is research and how does research help the candidates, like going and building connections and network. What I would suggest is having a research mentor or a guide with whom you work on a daily basis can actually vouch for you during your interviews or any program, because they see your work on a day-to-day basis, and how much work you put in every single day. And you don't have to even struggle asking other people for connections and network, because they are the ones who will stand behind you, who will review your CV, personal statement, and everything for free, I would say. But even if anybody doesn't have any mentors or guides, I definitely suggest Dr. Kera, because I remember during my interviews, when I had a mock interview with Dr. Kera, I thought that I was doing very well, but he literally shattered every piece of confidence I had in me. Like he showed me the flaws and weaknesses. Okay, you are a shit, doing in interviews. Please don't do this. You are wasting your time, trying to do this. So, that actually changed my perspective. And I would say that that's what actually made me go into a university program. And thank you, Dr. Kera. I mean, that was a wonderful session with you. I had like 45 minutes of session with you, but I would never regret, taking Sarthi service at that point. And also, I would say that everyone has spoken about the application and everything, but I would suggest one strong thing, that even if you have 1 interviews, even if you have 15 interviews, it doesn't matter. Going into that interview with certain amount of confidence and being honest is the one thing which will help you going into residency. And I would say that be honest to yourself and be honest to the person with whom you are interviewing. So that is the one key suggestion I would give. And also know your application so well from top to bottom. Each and every line, every word, and every letter is crucial. Do not underestimate them, because they will they will catch you at any point. So these are my suggestions. If you have any questions for me, or Dr. Kera, if you want to ask me specifically anything, I'm ready to answer.
So looks like what changed between season 1 and season 2, of course, was a full-time research position that really helped you build your profile. and then probably the interview preparation. Those were the things I think that helped. The research helped you get more interviews, is my assessment, and then of course you improve your.
Yes, I mean, when I used to reach out to people before the research position, when I reached out to the people, I used to be less confident about myself because I don't have anything in my profile. But when I have a research position as a background, I would have, contacted them with more confidence. I showed them that, what I'm capable of, and that actually built me a lot of connections. But also during the interview, when I'm talking to them, I actually showed my journey. It's a story. So I shared exactly my life story with them, and that actually aligned with the program as well. So that's how I would say someone might approach. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Rahul, for taking time out. I appreciate it, and hopefully that interview that you said was useful. So,
yes, I mean, absolutely. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me out at that time, and that's all I can say.
All right, thank you, and good luck in your coming residency.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kara.
Okay. All right, let's move on. The next speaker is Khant Lwin. So, Khant, you're there. Hi, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Kara. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Khant. So, why don't we get to know you a bit more for our...
Sure. Let me start with...
what challenges you overcame.
Sure. Let me start a little bit about my story. My name is Khant Lwin, and I graduated from University of Medicine 1 in 2019. I finished all of my STEP exam in 2022, 23, and 24. This is my third time applying to this season. My first time when I started applying in 24, I didn't have anything. I just finished my step 2. I don't have any certificate, a few clinical experience, and I just want to enter the season. I got a 5 interview and I didn't match. So in the second cycle, so I tried to do the research. I did a lot of clinical experience, and I thought this season might be better because I already finished my step 3 exam and I got a 14 interview. So many people, they told me that, wow, 14 is a lot of number. That is nearly 100% to be matched. But unfortunately, I still didn't match. And then this year, I applied for the limited license, and I got a mentorship with the Dr. Catherine Turn, the one you recommended to me. And I got a hospital rotation in another state, got a limited license, and I did a limited provider at the nursing home. I got a 10 interview, and I matched this year. Yeah, my I need to struggle a lot. My journey is tougher, and it took longer than the other people, but I never give up, and I try to look for the various clinical experience. So I know that we already have the clinical experience in our home country, but it is totally different with the United States clinical experience. So instead of focusing on other things, we need to move on with the different position and the different rotation. So that would be the great idea.
Okay, so pretty much you moved into platinum plan with Dr. Catherine Tan, and you did some in patient rotation, and you got a provisional license, and I think all of that then helped you in your medicine.
Yeah, and I would like to mention is that we in the United States we did the EMR system, but some people they only know like 1 or 2 EMR. That is not useful too much. But in the one of the interview, they told me that you did a lot of clinical experience, so we would like to test you. How many EMR can you able to use it? I said I can use the 8 EMR, and they asked me that what kind of EMR can you name one by one, and I can't answer it. So he was so surprised, and he said, "Wow, I know you are so honest, and you did a lot of research and a lot of clinical experience. And then also the thing I would like to mention is that even in my personal statement, I wrote about my failures. I wrote like that I didn't match in first cycle and the second cycle. You know, some people, they don't recommend me to do it like that. My mentor, she also agreed with me that because in the interview, we need to be honest. We need to show that even we did a failure, we had a failure, we have to prove how we are getting better and better. And I told that after the first cycle, I did this kind of clinical experience. I also learned the billing and coding. So instead of the clinical experience, sometimes they may ask you what kind of coding and what kind of billing can we do in the clinic and in the hospital. I know everything about that. Even I also know how the insurance system works. So you have to mention all of those kind of clinical experience. And then after getting failure in the second cycle, I also told her I did those kind of stuff and I got a lot of improvement before studying the third time. So I think that might be the best situation and that gave me the best answer to match in this cycle.
So, although you had an attempt, you overcame that with so much extensive USCE and work experience that it really was able to overcome this big red flag.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And how useful would you say was the mentorship, under Platinum with Dr. Catherine?
Yeah, that was a totally useful because not only about the CV preparation, and also she told me that how to write the CV. Even that it is the same clinical experience, we need to make a little bit adjustment. We need to show that what did I do and what did I achieve. Initially, I wrote it like that. In this clinic, I did those kind of stuff, and I learned those type of things. She said that to make better, we need to take down first what is this story. For example, I work in this kind of private clinic. So what is this clinic about? How many patients we saw each day? And what kind of lesson and what did I achieve in this one? So by reading this clinical experience and the CV, they will know that that is one of the busiest clinic and he did this kind of stuff. They will know that. So that is a thing I learned about from her. The second thing is she pointed out me how to get them more clinical experience. Usually, I only look for the outpatient clinical job. She pointed out that sometimes I have to do the hospital rotation, but I already had a rotation in the California. She said, sticking in the California and the New York, I need to move to another state because all of my clinical experience are in the New York and California. So other program, they might think, oh, he is the only candidate that wants to stay in those two areas. So I'm flexible to all of the geographic locations. So I did the rotation in the Florida. And then I also trying to look for the limited license job. And then she also introduced me to some of the provider in the Texas. But unfortunately, it didn't want to because of my financial issues. So for me, she is really helpful, and she gave me a lot of idea about how to answer the interview questions and how to make the people so impressed about me.
Well, thank you very much. This is again very, very inspiring. Having overcome an attempt and eventually matching. So very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kevin. I really thank you because you are the first one who I tried to contact after getting the sorry you didn't match in the second cycle. I remember we spent around 15 to 20 minutes. I asked you about the Jamaica medical scribe position and there's so many things.
Yep. Well, it's all over now, and congratulations again, and good luck in your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's move on, and we have our last speaker, but not the least, Sarah. And congratulations, Sarah, and welcome. So we've been talking about students overcoming their challenges and what happened and all of that. So why don't you give a brief about your journey and what specific challenges you had to overcome, because you are in a very competitive specialty.
Yeah, for sure. So hi everybody, my name is Sarah Garikana, and I want to really give a special thanks to Mr. Kara, who has been in this journey for a long time with me. And this is my second time applying, and I matched into psychiatry at Delaware Hospital. And it wasn't easy for me to pick up the phone the first time when I did not match to Mr. Kara that I didn't match. And he gave me the tips right away, like the right next day, which I followed. So I would say, so I was working as a research assistant at Mount Sinai for about 3.5 years in psychiatry. I'm an old grad. All my steps were done, step 1, step 2, and step 3. So the first time when I applied, I didn't have my step 3. I finished all the other exams in first attempt. My scores were good, and I had rotations, but the one red flag that I had was I was an old grad. And I would say the last couple of years, I did see a change in the trend of my interviewing process, because the first time during my interviews, nobody brought it up. Hey, you're an old grad. What have you been doing? But as I would definitely also would like to add in that though I'm an old grad, every single month, every single year, I have been working towards my USMLE, whether it be rotation, research, preparation, whatever. And also I was working in India as a physician after I graduated. So I didn't have like a huge gap where I could say that, no, I was just at home or I was taking care of my children or something. So that's something that if any old grads are there, should keep in mind. Whatever happens, whether you're pregnant, whether you have children, you still have to work on your USMLE journey in some form or the way. One thing. And then the second thing, during my second time of interviews, everybody brought it up. Hey, like, you're an old grad. What have you been doing? And tell me about your rotation. Specific questions like about my research papers, especially if you're a first author papers, and they would ask you each and every single thing, and you should be prepared to answer everything, which means that you actually have to work on the paper. Don't just pay exactly. Only if you work on your paper diligently from top to bottom, you will be able to answer those questions because they see through you. It's not that if somebody works on the paper and there's a group works on the paper and you just do a little bit of work, and when they ask you, you think you answer all of their questions right, but no, they see through you very easily. So be honest and don't lie, because that's the worst thing that can ever happen during interviews. No matter whatever the red flag is, whatever has happened in your life, just tell them. Okay? There are people who will actually understand that. So old grads, keep working 10 times harder than younger grads, I would say, day and night, and have a great support system. So don't take this easily, because 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when my brother was also in the USMLE journey, I would say it was easier. You get your scores right, you do your rotations, you're done. But it's not like that anymore at all. You never know who is watching you or how are they watching you. It's just like, I would say, like dating process. You never know who might like you, and you never know who you might like. So it'll be surprising at the end. So just working hard, get everything, check all the boxes, rotations, scores, step 3, research. Guys, don't pay for some papers. I would honestly suggest that, because it has happened to my friends who thought that, they completely prepared their answers for a case report, I would say, but they saw through it. So be honest and work hard.
So I think one of the different things other than the other speakers that you're bringing out is if you are focused on research and if you have, say, a first author paper, you should know it inside out.
Oh, absolutely. It's like your project. It's your idea. For me, some things that have really helped me was the first author papers that I have written were my idea of my own. Like I went to my PI or I went to my professor during rotations or I went to the resident saying that, hey, can you please help me do this case report? Like, can you suggest what is so interesting? Can I make this into a case report? It has to come from you. Only then it'll be very clear and they will see through it. Hey, like this girl has really worked. So apart from that, if you're just helping out a friend in writing the paper, because in some of the interviews, they might not ask you. But there are a few interviews that, what if they ask you? It won't look good. You'll unnecessarily lose it. Yeah. So.
What about, I know you were geographically constrained, but what are your views on applying broadly versus limiting yourself to a particular geography?
I think the first time I did restrict myself, as you know, Mr. Kara. But second time, I didn't make that mistake because you never know. And people actually don't mind because we are all international medical graduates. We are not born and brought up here where we can say that, hey, like we have like family here, our relatives here, we want to settle down here. You can work around it. Absolutely. Only like if you have families, like talk it out with your partners if they want to definitely move to any other place, but definitely I would say apply broadly, especially psychiatry has become really competitive. You never know. I have seen my friends who have matched into programs that they thought they had no chance at, and in a very different areas where they never thought they would be. And they were very happy because psychiatry has become competitive. Every program director knows that because they're getting really, really good applicants. You think that you have all the boxes checked, but there will be another candidate who is a little better than you, who was a little better than you in the interview. So just get everything right. Do your best and leave the rest to God. Like I would definitely suggest that because the second time when I applied, I knew that I was doing my 200%, but at the same time, I knew that it was not in my hands. So just pray to God really hard every single day. Yeah, because you need that. You need that bit of luck. Yeah, you need that bit of grace or else you're not going to go anywhere. Yeah. And be humble because some of the interviewers, they told me that the things that they look in a candidate are first thing is humility. Don't be proud just because you are from a great college, you have great scores, you have everything in your box. No. Be very humble because you have no idea how hard this journey can be if you're not a good person at heart, actually. So yeah, don't just be nice, be humble, stay grounded. You never know what's coming ahead, good or bad. So I really didn't have much hopes this year because I really wanted to keep it on the low because I knew the disappointment that I faced the first time. Excuse me. So do your work, do your best. Learn from every interviews too. First interview, it didn't go well, learn from it. What did you do wrong? Work on it and be prepared for that in the next interview. That's all I would say. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate your time and very, very motivating, very inspiring. And I think your insights into the research were very, very useful.
Absolutely, Mr. Kara. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are like a ton of knowledge. Oh my God. Anytime with any problem, I call him, he'll be there to give me a solution immediately. And that made me feel safe and secure going forward in my journey when I thought I was stuck. Like, where do I go from here? But for him, he had always had this very calming voice. I really like it. Thank you so much, Mr. Kara.
Thank you, Sarah, and good luck in your residency.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll wrap up now. And again, if you guys hopefully had a good session, you learned a lot. And if you need any help, so Aarti and Abhishek will be in touch with you for other steps on rotations, research, and match. And good luck, everyone. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.